Okay, we need to talk about how layer masks are going to be very important to a lot of the things that you do. So the first step for that is I'm going to need you to find your layer palette. So mine is showing, and you might see yours over here on the right, but if you do not see a little stack of papers with the word layer next to it, go to the window menu at the top, and this is alphabetized, okay, so layers is here in the middle. Go ahead and open that and drag it off just by clicking and pulling it over. Drag it off so it's on your screen, and you should be able to see a little miniature version of the picture that you have open. And it's currently called a background layer because this is the only layer that I have. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of it. So watch first and then pause me and go do it. We're going to take this background layer, go to this little set of lines with a triangle next to it up here at the top of the layer palette, and choose Duplicate Layer. Okay? Say OK. Now I have two of me. So go ahead and hit pause and go do that on your own document. Okay? So now that I have two layers, let's talk about how this is going to interact and why this will become important. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make me very colorful. I don't know, I'm feeling a little purple today, so we'll go with that. But we'll do anything, okay? So I now have a version of my picture in which I am purple, and if I click this eye and hide it, I can see the regular one underneath me, okay? And I got here by going to Image and Adjustments and Hue Saturation. So go ahead and hit pause and do that for yourself. Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and then come on back when you're done. Okay, so now that I have a purple version on top and a regular version underneath, I want to show you how layer masks will become important. At the very bottom of the layer palette, this little box with a circle inside is a layer mask button. So just watch right here and then we'll do it in a second. If I click that, I get this little extra box that's white, and my colors over here on my toolbar are going to turn black and white. Okay. So if I use a paintbrush, and I'm going to need to use black, we're going to figure that out, but black is going to hide and white's going to show. So I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, my right bracket key to be bigger, left one is smaller. We learned about that in the first episode. And if I draw, I am poking a hole through this top layer and showing what is underneath, which in this case was the not purple me. Okay, so let's see how that works again. White is going to hide, and black is going to show. Now I can make my brushes bigger or smaller with my bracket keys, and there's a new toolbar, or a keyboard shortcut rather, that you should know. The letter X is going to switch my black and white, just going to flip-flop my colors. So if I am working and I need to go back to hiding or showing that purple layer again, or back to hiding it, X is a handy way to switch that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put all of the purple me back. So I'm going to hide all of the masking I did. And I want to show you one more thing about brushes. Up here at the top, I can control the hardness. Right now, I am all the way 100% hard. So let's use a black brush, and I'm going to draw a line across. Okay. Now I'm going to take and make my hardness all the way 0. And I'm going to draw a second line. And I'm actually, just so that we can see this even clearer, I'm going to make just a blank layer, and we're going to fill it with something kind of obnoxious. I'm going to move it under my picture so that it's really clear what's happening here. So if you look at my layer palette, I have a purple me that I've been putting a mask on. I have made a green layer, and there's that original one underneath. Okay, so this top shape that I made here, I was doing that with a brush that was at 100% hard. Notice how crisp it is and how we're actually getting these little like scallops around the top. And then this one, the brush was at the 0% hardness. Okay, I'm going to suggest to you that when you are masking, that most of the time neither of these is the right answer, although there are exceptions to everything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and put all of that back in white so I can show you what is a nice way to do it. So 100% hardness was really kind of abrupt and was giving me these weird scallops. I want you to see the difference between now making my hardness in the high 80s, low 90s. You can see it's not nearly as fuzzy as 0, but it is a little kinder and gentler along the edge up here at the top, and a little more forgiving when I am coloring. Okay. Now remember what we're looking at here. Okay, I am just poking a hole in the purple me to see what is underneath. So right now I have a green piece of paper in the mix. If I change that piece of paper to be red, then that's what I would see in between. Okay, and if I delete this piece of paper altogether, I'm going to go ahead and see what is underneath, which is the not colored me. Okay, so I'm actually going to delete this and I'm going to walk through it one more time, and then I would like you to go try it. So I have my background layer. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make myself a different color by going to Adjustments, Hue Saturation. Let's be green. I'm going to add a layer mask by this little button right here. And now using a brush and a black paintbrush, I'm going to draw and show the not weirdly colored me underneath. Okay? So go ahead and pause, please, and I would like you to practice that step. Okay, so when you come back to me, I'd like you to have a layer that has been colored and a background that is plain. Okay, we'll pause right here. Okay, one last moment about opacity and brushes. So we have been working with a black and a white brush. If I work now and I'm putting white back on top of this black hole that I've made, if I adjust the opacity, opacity means how see-through something is. If I adjust my opacity, I will get a little of something in between. It will put a little of the green back with each swipe that I do. And that's just a handy thing to know, because sometimes you don't want to be all or nothing. Sometimes you would like to be something in the middle. Don't forget too that this might be a moment where having a fuzzy brush so that it is a soft transition is a good thing. Okay? All right, so we are going to pause this video here and come back, and we're going to talk about how clone and healing brush are going to work. Okay?